Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Hasbro acquiring D&D Beyond, and specifically the amount paid, $146 million. That's a lot of money. Let's talk about that. Okay. So first of all, a lot of people are reporting that Wizards of the Coast is buying D&D Beyond. That's not correct. Hasbro is buying Dungeons and Dragons, D&D Beyond. Okay, and it is a very big deal. How can you tell when there's a real D&D event happening? When Dungeon Craft and Nerd Immersion, Professor Dungeon Master over on Dungeon Craft and Nerd Immersion talk about the exact same story within 48 hours of each other. That's a D&D event. It's a strong indicator. It means it's important, it cannot be ignored, and it has urgency. And D&D being bought by Hasbro for Wizards of the Coast. That's really what's happening. Is D&D Beyond being bought for Wizards of the Coast by Hasbro is a really big deal. So one of the things I want to say is I'm just trying to get you guys to understand, I know you like your copy game, and I know that you're playing it and you think it's important, but the reality is Dungeons and Dragons is carrying the entire tabletop role-playing game industry on its shoulders. Every game goes where Dungeons and Dragons goes because of the scale, for a whole lot of reasons, but because of the scale, right? This is an acquisition. You know what acquisitions is? That's when a product is being acquired for a company. Mergers and acquisitions are some of the most high money moves in the world, right? And right now, Hasbro is making an acquisition for Wizards of the Coast, right? And it's $146 million. You know what you could do with $146 million? There's not much you can't do with $146 million. That is a ton of money. You want me to put that in perspective for you? That is 6 years of gross. 6 years of gross, right, of Paizo. So you take D&D's number one competitor, Pathfinder, right? In 2021, they made $25 million, right? 24, actually. This is, I just ran it up to a quarter for easy math, right? This is 6 years of everything their company turns out for just an acquisition of one product for Dungeons & Dragons. The scale on Dungeons & Dragons is so much larger than anything created by a copy game. And copy games just don't move the industry. They don't do anything but create a little fun game for some game masters and some players. It doesn't change lives. It doesn't change politics. It doesn't change industries. It doesn't change, markets. Dungeons & Dragons is a real player that plays on the real world stage, and its scale is absolutely massive. And there's no copy in the game. There's no copy game in the world that makes moves like it. Nothing, right? Literally, the entire tabletop role-playing game industry is sitting on the shoulders of Dungeons and Dragons. And when Dungeons and Dragons moves, the entire industry is moved with it, because the industry does not have legs. Okay, the industry has not done the work to defeat Dungeons and Dragons. Not a single game, not the entire industry together has done the work to be an actual competitor to Dungeons and Dragons. And that 146 million is very strong proof of that, right? And just to be clear, like President Biden called President Volodymyr Zelensky and said, we're going to send you another $800 million, right? The amount of money that was just spent to buy D&D Beyond could buy tanks, could buy, entire other companies, could buy weapons platforms in the large numbers. These are global power numbers. $146 million is a ton of money, and it says D&D plays at a level no one in the industry plays at. Nobody, right? And I'm putting it here because I firmly discount this idea that copy game, that the industry could survive without Dungeons & Dragons. A lot of people say it. It's just not true. And I'm begging you to look at the evidence. All right? And what I mean by that is play your copy games, but play them at the 49%. We need the industry strong, and you need to play D&D now. That's the reason why $146 million is important. All that's my opinion. What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.